Hello everyone, this is Gus. What am I doing right now? Well, when I'm speaking right now, there is right beneath me is a speed painting of something that I did with my artist 15.6 HD from HP Paint. This is my drawing tablet. Actually, it's a synthetic alternative that I've been using for a long time right now, and I love it, by the way. Well, what I'm gonna start speaking about is how can I do concept art? You know, there is some kind of thing like a character creation out there in the internet. They tell you how to do it, how to make like a dynamism in the figures, or try to, make your dynamic shapes, dynamic figures, dynamic forms, and dynamic everything. Well, try to make a workflow, try to make this a flow on designing. But pretty much it's about designing. How you can design these things? Well, actually, it's pretty easy using sources. What is a source? Well, it's whatever you find in the internet. Let's say somebody asks you to make a Viking girl. Actually, many people is hot about Viking girls. So the people asking you to go get your pen and try to make a decent Viking girl or a Valkyrie. So how are you gonna do it? Well, first you start trying to find all the sources or whatever's in Google about Valkyries, or Valkyries. Try to find it in the original German Valkyrie or in the English, which is Valkyrie. So you will try to find everything that appears or pop up in Google in the images. So you might have an idea how this kind of Valkyries look like. That means there is no like the, fat ladies with the horn and helmets and this braids long line. Like, no, they are not like that. Well, there were like some sort of spirits. There were daughters of Odin, Wodan, for many who knows about the Nordic, cosmology, all-time Nordic cosmology. So you can just find out something like this. Sorry. So you just made up this. See? You can just make this thing out. Of course, you need that's how to draw. Okay? This is for the people who actually have the talent in their hands. I mean, like many of the guys who are watching me right now. So you find this decent kind of Valkyrie. So you start designing. You don't find this because actually I didn't copy this thing. I designed this thing. See? Everything here is pretty much from the ground zero. So I designed every single thing she has. Yeah, I made it a little bit sexier. Yeah. So that's the way. This is pretty much for concept art. What is concept art? It's a concept. So you have to think about concepts. You need to imagine the things first, make a bunch of sketches, like tons and tons of sketches, and try to find something that is pretty complex. Then you can just go to the less complicated things. And also, you can do for the non-complicated things to the not a complicated, but equally good. This is something that I did for a friend of mine. He asked me for a Landesneck. Landesneck is some sort of mercenaries for the 15th and 16th century in Germany. They were pretty much mercenary guys. And this guy is using, well, some sort of trendy kind of fashion of that way, of that age, I mean. So, you can also do your own stuff, based on references, on what you find in the internet. You can just start not copying the stuff. But I mean, you can just start, how you can say that? Oh, it's not copying, it's not plagiarism. It's like interpreting. You're an interpreter. Yes. So you can interpret whatever you find and make your character design. Yes. Okay, you can see it that way. So you can interpret. You can do whatever style you want. Man, if you're a conceptual artist, or if you want to be one, You don't need to do like some sort of like a Marvel stuff. You can do your own stuff. Anything is gonna be your your own piece of art. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, so this is another one of those requests slash commissions I did for somebody. Let's see. Yeah, that looks better. So this is the kind of stuff you do. Well, the first is a lot of sketches using your pencils. Most of the time, it's the pencils. It's the only thing. It's your best friend. It's the only thing you're gonna do. Also, after the pencil is done, you can just go for the digital. Or it's not digital, someplace. Well, or just inking. You can do inking. See? It's a character design. So I design the character and I conceptualize the character and I do the inking. Actually, I did it. Okay? So once you have there, you can just imagine whatever the pose you want. You can just have some dynamism, trendy word. Like this. See? You can do something dynamic, you know, flowing movement, I mean, something like that. See, here's the cool thing about this. Then you can just go for new designs. Yeah, this guy is supposed to be a voivod or a vampire. Actually, I did it using a references for voivod sources of the 16th century. Some resemblance with the guy like Draculish could be or something like that. And it used pants like they were pretty much in the fashion at that time and age. And also he has a longsword, which was some kind of like a dual weapon during the 16th century and 15th and 16th century actually. This is a wolfman or werewolf. And I do the guy, you know, using pretty much like a steampunk. I like that idea. You know, then you can just make the flow. See, the same guy. You can just add as many details you want. Yeah, this is the beauty of conceptual artists. It's not supposed to be like a sorcerer, some kind of Egyptian kind of African girl. So I put something, some girl that looks like Nubian, like Coptish, with some kind of you know, steampunk thing. I like the idea. So I just started doing this, and that is just, it's incredible how the kind of images flow in your head. So you just need to fill it out. Again, this girl. Yeah, this looks nice. So every time you are doing your conceptual artist, your conceptual art, I mean, you just have to, one, just do, if you want to be a conceptual artist, well, any kind of illustrator can be a conceptual artist. If you're an artist and if you know how to use these beauties, I mean, pencils, or the digital stuff like the digital pens, like this one, well, this is for my artist 15.6. Well, the thing that I can advise you guys is start looking at the references all over the internet. Also, if you are in DeviantArt, there are a bunch of model resources. Yeah, if you need a model, if you want to then naked with this kind of like swords or spears or knives, or doing like a ninja kind of thing, you can just find it all over the internet and you can just start drawing based on that reference model. Not that you are copying that character, but you are making something about that, and start doing a bunch of faces, bunch of facial expressions, bunch of hands. I hate hands. I know what that means for many of us. So that is my best, one of my advices about conceptual art. This is my first one of these discussions to myself and to you guys about conceptual art. Yeah, this is the creation of characters. There's also a kind of conceptual art that is the creation of environments. I mean, you are designing environments. So like if you want to design something like a mix of the 15th and 16th century Germany with some sort of steampunk and you can just try to match up post-medieval architecture with that kind of stuff. Or if you want to do something like Assassin's Creed Origins, that is a guy that looks like you know, some ragged Mad Max for the Bronze Age, mixed with some kind of weird constructions from the Pharaoh times, that actually the Pharaohs never have it. But is you are a conceptual artist, you are the owner of the concept. So you have to make a concept. For whatever, you have to go to a concept. For example, for this girl here, my concept was zombie cyborg. They asked for a zombie cyborg with a katana and a wakibashi. So I just come up with something sexy because I like it. And also I just came up with the idea of a cyborg. Just trying to make her face looking just pretty much like something like a Robocops for the 80s. So you can just use some of the resources from many movies, ideas from all over the place. There is a bunch of stuff. So you can just come up with something like this. The things that he has in the head are antennas. I came up with an idea because I have antenna similar in my TV, and I said, oh, I want to do something like that. So I just came with this kind of sort of like a, you know, like a ponytail or something, like a bomb tail. So this is the one of the ideas. It was based on that concept. So I came a little further and I put it more like a, well, you see, it's a zombie. Where it's not a beauty zombie. I remember one of those awful and pretty hideous movies in the 90s called the, you know, the Night of the Living Dead. It was like what was it? Like the 6 or 7, and there was a pretty beautiful girl, and they make her into a zombie, but she looks pretty and beautiful still. So she was a zombie, but she looks very good. So why don't make her good? In the time when you have to color that piece, well, you could add some kind of like a bluish, greenish kind of stuff, like you're actually dead. So, well, this is my advice for many guys that want to be a conceptual artist, is first, use your imagination. And second, don't be cheap on the resources. Just try to find as much pictures, as much ideas, and sketch a lot. I mean, like a lot. So, well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. I did this with my XP Paint Artist 15.6. I really enjoyed that thing. And I'm using Photoshop here. So, guys, thank you for listening to me, and pleasure.